second. Conor McGregor is the lightweight champion. Give us your thoughts on that matchup.
This is the fourth time they're trying to make this fight happen.
Tony needs LCL surgery, which has a reasonably long recovery time.
Dana White has said he will never book this fight again.
UFC lightweight champion of the world, ladies and gentlemen, Khabib Nurmagomedov.
What's the possibility we will never get the elite fighter Tony Ferguson back again?
Injury and destruction. It hasn't been easy for him.
It's brutal.
Where is Tony Ferguson right now?
It's been a long year for me. You guys have no idea the stuff that I went through. I'm not gonna take your condescending handshake, therapist guy. I'm gonna do this shit on my own. You're telling me 6 months to a year? I'm gonna do it in 3 months.
I'm not ready to count out Tony Ferguson yet.
This chapter in my life started a new one. I'm not going anywhere.
You've overcome a lot to get where you are right now.
Repeat the process over and over, and it showed inside that octagon tonight.
I think people lose sight of what Tony Ferguson has done.
He could be missing a limb. He's going to still want to fight. That's who Tony Ferguson is.
When I'm hurt, I love that feeling because it's real. That's the most realest feeling that you could ever have. Everything else, happiness could be fake, crying could be fake. But pain, that's real.
Continue want to keep going. And how do you do that? And you keep putting your nose to the grindstone and you keep doing the damn thing.
I think of it as he's just a very unique guy. He does a lot of things that nobody else does. He speaks in a way that nobody else does.
Snap down city, that's right.
Fights, he wins in ways nobody else does. Tony only has one loss in the lightweight division, ever.
In October of 2013, you got back on the winning track where you defeated Mike Rio. Then in October of 2017, you become a champion in the organization.
It's been a long time, Tony.
What is next for El Cucuy?
Look at the timeline in which he came back from that knee injury.
He got back up on the horse.
He was on the same card as Nurmagomedov and McGregor and won against a former champion. Then, UFC 238.
TKO Cowboy Cerrone at the end of the second round.
He's been on an unprecedented win streak.
Josh Thompson, Edson Barboza, Lando Venata, RDA.
There was a better fighter today.
Kevin Lee.
Underestimated his work from the bottom.
Anthony Showtime Pettis.
Tony's a tough Mexican, bro.
And Donald Cerrone.
I humbly couldn't finish the fight and I apologize.
All of these on his 12-fight win streak.
Tony Ferguson, ladies and gentlemen.
It was a really emotional year.
This leaves you in a #1 contender position, so please give us your thoughts on where that stands.
What sounds better than 12? 13. But it sounded a hell of a lot better with a title shot and having that 13 victory.
You guys remember when I pulled out last time after UFC 209? UFC tell me, hey, you wanna deserve title shot? You have to fight with some tough guy. Okay, I make mistake.
Khabib The Eagle defeats Edson Barboza.
Did you enjoy yourself being back in the octagon?
Last couple years, I tried to change something. I'm coming like my healthiest period ever. I feel my time is coming.
Khabib Nurmagomedov, ladies and gentlemen.
The Eagle is victorious here at UFC 219.
After this fight, there can be no denying that you're one of the most dangerous men on the planet Earth.
Everything God gave me.
Khabib Nurmagomedov's career in the UFC has been destructive and dominant. First won the title, of course, UFC 223 from a unanimous decision with ally Iaquinta.
I mean, you had a great speech earlier. You said if King Kong can make 155, I'll fight him.
I want to become UFC champion. If I cannot beat Iaquinta, Pettis, or Felder, how I can call this?
After winning the belt at UFC 223, he had his showdown with Conor McGregor at UFC 229, defended the UFC lightweight championship. A little less than a year later at UFC 242, Khabib defended and unified the UFC lightweight championship in a dominant performance against Dustin Poirier.
Congratulations on your second successful title defense.
The undisputed lightweight champion of the world.
I have to do my job, like always.
You are watching a genius paint.
This arena, the mixed martial arts world, belongs to Khabib Nurmagomedov tonight.
You can slow down Khabib, but he ultimately gets his way. He ultimately finds a way to do what he wants to do. He's one step ahead all the time.
UFC undisputed, undefeated lightweight champion.
There's only one Khabib, the unbeatable champion.
He knows what power is. He knows what strength is.
And Nurmagomedov floors him.
Then on the ground, he has so many options and such fluid command of it.
There's the tap! Khabib Nurmagomedov!
Nurmagomedov really dropped the bombs now with those elbows.
He's the first fighter since Anderson Silva to start 12-0 in the UFC. He's obviously 28-0 overall.
I think he's a couple fights away from potential GOAT status.
28-0! Khabib The Eagle Nurmagomedov!
This guy is on another level.
One of the greatest champions this octagon has ever seen.
Obviously, when your name is mentioned, Tony Ferguson's name isn't far away. Do you see yourself throwing down with him down the line?
I have to keep going. Tony Ferguson on the line.
You did drop the name Tony Ferguson here during Fight Week. What can you tell us about your third title defense?
Things are finally starting to move in the direction they're supposed to move.
It's a topic that you have to talk about because it's so important in the division.
December 2015 was the first time this fight was scheduled. Khabib Nurmagomedov forced to pull out that night. To that end, April 2016, long issue for Tony Ferguson, so the fight went away. And then, of course, March 4th, 2017, UFC 209, Khabib Nurmagomedov hospitalized prior to even getting to the scale.
And then their last canceled bout was in 2018 in April.
What do you think is next for Khabib? Everybody's talking about Tony Ferguson.
We all know the story. One's the champion, one was the interim champion, got injured, came back.
That's 12 fights in a row, man. I should be calling the shots.
I believe that we are finally getting some movement.
It's everything that fighting is about. It's the fight we need.
And the tide has risen.
I believe the dam is beginning to break.
Do you feel like fifth time's the charm? Do we have to see that fight now?
It's there.
Alhamdulillah, let's go.
Bring it. More. I love it.
This is the time to make Khabib versus Tony.
Tony Ferguson is next in line for the fight.
Khabib and Tony is confirmed.
These two guys have been on a collision course forever.
This guy just needs his first loss.
All we're talking about Khabib time.
You're flat-footed, you have no rhythm, and you're one-dimensional. Blah, 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 blah. No BS, just get there, all right?
We have never seen someone so dominant. The question is, can he lose?
I think you have to have a guy with some kind of secret weapon almost, like what Ferguson has.
The surgeon, the boogeyman, Tony Ferguson, who makes everybody believe is fighting the guy who's never been cut before, the invincible one in Khabib.
I want to smudge this guy.
He has been unrivaled inside the octagon.
If you want to become undisputed UFC champion, you have to finish me. If not, I'm gonna keep going all night. This is my plan.
This guy's gonna get his first loss. That's all I know.
I said let's go.
This is right here. I'm defending my belt.
Tony Ferguson. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ferguson is the ultimate fighter.
You gotta roll, man. On with the show.
nobody was going to take this time from me. I went in there and act like it was fun. This is
The fight between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Tony Ferguson is between the two greatest lightweights of all time.
Belt or no belt, this fight was going to happen.
Nobody's talking about Tony time.
I can't wait to shut your face with my hand. No matter what you say, Khabib's going to lose. He's going to get finished.
We'll see. What time is it then? Please tell this guys.
Go watch my fight to see exactly why I have this belt.
It's Tony time.
There's never been a better time to be a fan.
The longest win streaks in UFC lightweight division's history going up against each other.
This fight is going to decide the greatest lightweight fighter in history.
Nobody catch me.
Mi gente, viva Mexico! The undisputed lightweight king.
I have to catch somebody because I am the eagle.
Destiny calls upon us.
Another epic performance. Ferguson!
It calls upon them.
I'm right here at your front doorstep.
It calls upon this moment.
Tony Ferguson!
Thank you so much for everything.
The Father's Land.
The Eagle, Khabib,
my time now.
There's so many life lessons in what fighters do, the dedication that they do. We only see the showcase of it. We don't see the pain and hurt and the grind it takes to get there.
I have very long way.
You've been training for a title since you were a little boy. You've been chasing it for so many years.
They sacrifice so much in their lives to get to the pinnacle of the sport.
It's been a long road for you though, Tony.
I've learned how to do this from a long time ago, listening to my dad and really paying attention, being his apprentice for a long time. I'm a master now, and I'm very fortunate that he pushed me to the limit to where I'm at.
What's your message for your young fans out there who look up to you so much?
Respect your parents. I'm trained all my life with my father. I told you guys, when I go to the cage with my father, I feel I go to the cage with the lion, you know.
A lot of people follow me. I have to show perfect, for example.
We're not animals, man. We're not out here cockfighting. We're actually athletes. We come from good backgrounds. We have families, and we put a lot of time and effort into this.
I'm going to demonstrate to the younger generation that they don't have to talk shit in order to get the things done.
We can use this platform, Octagon, help people. This is very important.
You can't look at these athletes and say, these aren't inspiring.
If you want your dreams come true, you have to follow this. You never know what happened tomorrow.
I really want to just keep getting better, and I want to see how far I can take this mixed martial arts thing, man.
You have to keep going, take your dream.
Tony has kind of emerged over time as like this kind of cultish figure. His training methods are just kind of different.
A lot of people don't get me, I get it, but it's not for them to get. I love the fact that people can't emulate what I do.
What he does is reverse to everything everybody believes, and he's winning. That just tells you there is no right way to fight. And I'm glad a guy like Tony Ferguson is breaking the norm, because that is what it's all about.
I feel great everywhere about my power, my wrestling, my striking.
It's going to take a special effort to sit him down.
But again, if there's someone who can pull it off, it's a guy like Ferguson.
Do not forget about me.
If both guys hang it up, and we never saw Khabib Nurmagomedov fight Tony Ferguson, it'd be heartbreaking.
I have to keep going. I have to keep building my legacy.
Tony and Khabib deserve to fight for that belt.
Only great fights make you a great athlete, you know.
This is a great game that we're in. This is great martial arts.
Khabib's a game opponent. He's a real fighter.
You've now faced 28 men in mixed martial arts. None of them have been able to defeat you.
I think anybody can lose anytime. All greatest fighters lose.
Everything is meant to be broken, everything is meant to be new.
What I'm doing here is cleaning up the sport.
The game is supposed to evolve.
I told you guys, I'm gonna change this game.
And I'm here to go after the real belt.
These guys have been training for each other for years.
My dreams, retired, undefeated, undisputed UFC lightweight champ.
El Cucuy, I will haunt your dreams.
Khabib and Tony are the greatest lightweights of all time. And the only way you can have the definitive claim at the top, the concrete greatest, is the winner on April 18th.
We need to fight for the 5th time. We need to try this out again.
There's never been a better time to be a fan.
Now we're here, on the line belt.
To every fan, to everyone who wants to witness the most important event in mixed martial arts history, to everyone who has been waiting for this moment, this fight, this monumental event. It was always bound to happen, only at one certain point in time.
I'm here